Hi, guys. Melinda Farkas here. Weekly travel updates. And wow, do we have a lot to talk about? Um, I didn't get to do my show last week because I was out of the state and unavailable. But I want to tell you about being stranded. Oh my goodness, it's the first time ever that I have been stranded somewhere. I gotta adjust this light. Sorry. Um, so today we just watched the Queen's funeral, and I want to honor her and Prince Charles, now King Charles, although he'll be inducted within the next year. There hasn't been a coordination since 1953, and so it is quite a event. And while I'm honoring people, I want to show you someone else. This is Billy Baker. I call her Mom Baker. Let's see, I'll get her on the side. I call her Mom Baker, and I found out today is Renee Hara's birthday in heaven, and my best friend Terry Hara in Rialto, California. This is her mom, and she was like a mom to me when I was 12, 13, 14, 15. So, but I want to honor others. So, hold on one second. Technical difficulty. That's what happens when you try to do too much all by yourself. So, besides it being a day of the Queen's funeral, and Britain has just gone through 10 days of mourning. They take this time, and there's 10 days that they mourn the Queen. If you saw any of the video of the funeral, oh my goodness, it was touching, it was moving. They walk for great distances following the casket, and then put the casket in a hearse and carry it about 2 hours away. Normally it's a 30-minute drive, but because they want to have as many people as possible be able to see and be involved in the Queen's funeral, they take it very slowly. So just a day to honor her. I think she was the pride of Britain. Okay, next up is tomorrow is our Businesswomen's Networking meeting in my office at Action Travel. We're right downtown Mebane on Clay Street, and we're right next to the new crafted taco place across the street from Clay Street Printing. So come out and visit us tomorrow, ladies. We have a great group of ladies with a lot of business experience. So we have watched and mentored several people as they began their journey in business. So if you're in business and you're in the Mebane area, please come tomorrow. It's free, doesn't cost anything. I serve coffee. If you want anything else, you have to bring it yourself. Okay, next up. Oh my goodness, the earthquake in Mexico today. Oh, it was, yikes, where's my notes? It was 7.6 magnitude on the Richter scale. That's huge. And it's so coincidental because Mexico has had 3 earthquakes all on September 19th. In 1985, there were over 10,000 people killed with a 8.0 magnitude earthquake near Mexico City. And in 2017, a quake that was 7.1 magnitude killed about 370 people and caused heavy damage in the states, in the Mexican states of Pueblo and Morelos. So be thinking about them. God, that is serious business to have that kind of an earthquake. When I left California, my grandma was trying to talk me into coming home. And she said, your mom's not doing well. It's really time for you to come home. My dad had moved from California back to North Carolina. My brother had already moved back to North Carolina. So I was out there having a great time working in a travel business, and it was fun days. But Grandma told me, you need to seriously think about this. And that next week, just in Palm Springs, we had a 7.2 on the Richter scale earthquake, and things came off of our walls. So, well, I came home, and that was, yikes, in 1986. So we started Action Travel in 1990, and we just celebrated 32 years. We are blessed and very excited. Well, you know that you've heard about Fiona and the tropical storm that has now turned into a hurricane, slammed against Puerto Rico this weekend. More than 1.3 million without power, mudslides. They need to be in our prayers, folks. I remember Maria, and I remember sending medical teams down there from here. They came from Duke and UNC, and we did the travel for them. And I just can't imagine having to go through all of that again in just a few years. There are several people that have just had power restored about a year, and now it's gone again. Some of the rivers were up 12 feet. It washed away roads. There was one river that was up 25 feet and the highest level in history in Puerto Rico this weekend. And that storm's going to go on. Now, it looks like it's going to miss the Bahamas, and it's headed toward Bermuda. It will be at Bermuda and cross Bermuda probably on Wednesday. Scary thought, but Tuesday, it's going to go right over Turks and Caicos tomorrow. So I'm anxious to see what the beaches property will look like, because they have a great span of property and buildings there. By Wednesday, it's expected to hit Bermuda at like 1:05 in the afternoon. And on Thursday at 2 a.m., it should be pushed off and headed north. If you have cruises that are going to, this is a big time to do the fall foliage cruises. If you have those coming up, look at your schedule, watch your emails, because they can change things up until the last day. Once I was departing on an Eastern Caribbean sailing, and just 2 days before the sailing, we got emails to say now we were doing the Western Caribbean. And it looks like that's what many ships did this weekend. If you were headed to the Eastern Caribbean, you probably went Western. Now, that brings up a big point, because a lot of people get angry. But, when you go on a cruise, you essentially, by paying it, or signing a cruise contract. And that cruise contract says that if they feel like it's safer for the ship to go in another direction, they will do that. And they have the authority to do that. And the captain can make changes at any time. So, we just have to deal with it. So by Friday and Saturday, Fiona will be off the coast of Nova Scotia. Again, watch your emails, because itineraries can change. There's been a lot of travel. So like this weekend in Seattle, in 1 hour, more than 5,000 cruise passengers were dumped at Seattle Airport. And the line was so long, it went out the airport, out into the parking garage, and they were in lines. And God, can you imagine? Now, news reports in TSA were saying that they had a 30-minute wait, a 90-minute wait, but untrue. Many of the passengers that were interviewed said that they were there for more than 2.5 hours. Okay, let me tell you about being stranded. So I have a really good friend, and I went to see him. He moved from California to Arkansas. And when he did that, I was shocked. Then his brother came. Then his mother came. Then, well, no, the aunt and uncle were already there. And I went out for business and went to see Steve, and he picked me up. Took me back to the airport, and you can ask my son. I am never late for a flight. I might be late for something else, but not a flight. So we were there in plenty of time and got to check in, and I had no phone. So Steve ran back out to the car to look for the phone. And I was standing waiting to go into TSA with him having it in his hand or not. He came back, shook his head, no. I was 5 yards from entering TSA. So I went on through TSA, and I only had a small bag, and it got pulled over to have extra check. And I was waiting and waiting, but my bag was number 6. So as soon as I got through TSA, I was at gate number 1. So I was just around the corner from my gate. And I walked around the corner, and she said, "Are you Miss Fargus?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "You just missed your flight. I had to shut the door. We had to have an on-time departure." Well, tears just filled my eyes because I'm in a different place, and it was more close to 3-hour drive from where I was to the airport. And Steve, who dropped me off, bless his soul, he does not answer the phone when he is driving. He turns his phone off. So I sit down, open my laptop, and text, "Steve, turn around, come back. I missed my flight." No response. I called him on Messenger. No response. Close to 3 hours later, without a phone, in an airport, by myself, stuck, and the next flight out of Springfield is not until the next day. So I sat around the airport, and I will tell you, I sat there and cried for a bit. This is the important part. So when she tells me I missed the flight, after I message him, I put my vest over my arm, headed out the door, went to the parking lot, didn't see him. So I come back in, sit down, and I've got to reply to a customer who was looking for something for Myrtle Beach, Jerry Carver. And I've got to reply to Laverne Riggin because she left on a cruise Saturday, and I hope she's okay, but she's going south. The ABC Islands are always safe in hurricane season. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And she's doing Aruba and Curacao. So I think she's good. I'm waiting for a reply. Anyway, I sit down and I looked for my wallet to prepay a hotel. No wallet, no vest. My ID was in a business card holder along with my American Express card and a couple other cards. And it was in my vest pocket, and it was gone. Now I am really upset. I hadn't heard from Steve yet. Within 3 hours, I have lost my phone, my ID, and credit cards, and $40 that was in the pocket. So I went and sat where they had the very best Wi-Fi. I called Trey, or I messaged him, and he messaged me back, and he said, "Mom, the best thing I can do is give you my Netflix account." So as I started watching a movie on Netflix, prepared to stay in the airport all night, I went around to ask different counter agents, had anybody turned in a tie-dyed vest because it had my ID in it. And one of the ladies said, "No, but I'll be happy to call someone." And so within minutes, Steve had gotten home, got the message, gave me his phone number by messenger, and I called. And because it was a 3-hour drive and it was already now 6:00 at night, there was no need for him to come get me because he wouldn't get there till 9. We wouldn't get back to Arkansas until after midnight, and we'd have a 3-hour drive the next day. So there I am without it. I called Best Western, which was near the airport and had a free shuttle, and told her my story. And she said, I'm sorry. And I said, let me give you my Best Western. Look up my Best Western account. And she did, and I'm there, and she can verify, that I'm who I say I am with the address I say I am, but she cannot check me in without ID or a credit card. So I called Steve, and he called her and gave her his credit card, and they sent a shuttle over to pick me up. And I spent a very nice evening at Best Western. I went early to the airport the next morning because I need to fly home, and I have no ID. Nothing. I walk up to the counter, Delta, and I said, I'm Melinda Fargas, and I'm booked on a flight at 11:47. I missed the flight yesterday afternoon. And she said, ID, please. And I said, I have no ID. While I was waiting yesterday, 6 hours in the airport, I lost a phone. And in my vest that I lost, it had my ID in it. And thank goodness, this little girl walked out of the room and came in behind her, and she said, oh, Miss Fargas, you're here. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, we're going to have to do a double ID on her. I had never heard of that, and it might be something that you use sometime. My business card has got my photo on it. It says Melinda Fargas, President, Action Travel. It has the address, phone number, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, do you have anything else that has your ID on it? I looked through what little I had, and I had a name badge, a metal name badge that I wear right here that says Melinda Fargas. She said, that's good enough. Can you believe that? That's good enough. So I go through TSA, and when I get to TSA, she said, I need your ID, please. And I said, they told me to tell you I'm a double ID. Well, double ID means that you're a risk. So they searched me from head to toe, went through my hair, patted me down all over places I have not been touched. This lady touched. So then they go through every item in my bag. I'm now afraid, even though I'm there 4 hours before my flight, that I might miss it. Sure enough, they go through everything. They let me go, and I made it to the flight, and she did let me on. It was the same little girl who had told me the next day, oh, I'm sorry, you missed your flight. We just shut the door. So that's how you travel without an ID. It was something I have never experienced. And as a travel agent, more than 40 years in this industry, I have never, ever been stranded. But that's the way it was. Now, I got to tell you, cruise news. The Love Boat, the real Love Boat, was Princess Cruise Line. And they are going to start a new show called The Real Love Boat. And it will start on October 5th. And it'll be on Paramount Plus. Look for it. Search it. You'll probably find it somewhere else. I thought that was very interesting. And Princess also released news just maybe the day before Queen Elizabeth died that they were releasing the Princess new ship, and it's called the Sun Princess. And the Sun Princess is a very old princess ship that's no longer with the fleet, and they're naming the new ship the Sun Princess. And it'll be the first ship that's LNG fueled, and it's the largest princess ship ever. Now, if you've been on Princess before, they have classes. Really, they have classes. You can be a regular traveler. You can step up to, now it's called club level. And if you're in suites, it's a different level. By the way, Princess is extending their future cruise credits. If you got future cruise credits during the pandemic, they have extended them until September of 2023. That's huge because I don't know about you. There are a lot of people who still are uncertain if they're ready to sail. All right. The FBI met a ship in Boston, and it was the NCL breakaway. The NCL breakaway was met because 2 crew members had an altercation and formal charges were filed. And if that happens to you on a cruise ship, the FBI comes to get you because they consider it federal. And I have to tell you about another crew member who jumped off the ship. He and his partner, and he was an entertainer. It was on a celebrity ship, and he jumped off the ship after an argument. I guess he realized within a quick minute that that's not what he wanted, and he yelled for help, and he was rescued. Yay. I cannot tell you. Well, yes, I can. I think I've told you about 7 different people who have jumped overboard ships this year. And that's the very first one that I can tell you that was recovered. The guy's okay. He's a member of the crew. You know what they did? They put him off at the next port and discontinued his contract. Now, there's a lot of talk about mental health right now. And think about these people who are on a cruise ship. Most of them are on there for 180 days, 4 months, 7 days a week working. Surely things happen. And if the mental health of America that we're hearing so much about is bad, think of the people who are away from their family, earning money to send back home. Many of them away for years because they will do several contracts. And man, when you're on a cruise ship next time, be careful to be kind, because these people gotta be stressing. If we're stressing and we just have regular life and we don't work 7 days a week, think what they do. 7 days a week, some of them 12 and 14, 16 hours a day. All right, so let's see. Told you about that. Told you about the Love Boat. Told you about the earthquake. Told you about the breakaway. Oh, there was another brawl on a Carnival ship, and it was the Sunshine that goes out of Charleston. It was this week, and an assault was between 2 passengers. You know, I just told you a couple of weeks ago about Carnival standing up and saying, if you are disruptive on a sailing, we will ban you from our ships. They will for sure ban you immediately from all of their corporate ships. Like Carnival owns Cunard, owns, oh goodness sakes, owns Princess, and their upscale is, dang it, I can't remember. But anyway, you will not be able to get on any Carnival ship. And a Carnival representative just said this week in an interview that they have communications between cruise lines, and they're discussing a universal banding project. So don't mess up, or you could be banned from all of them. That wouldn't be fun. Of course, I don't have many people that I'd be worried about that. Let's see. All right. Let me tell you real quick. Let's see. Oh, God, I went long tonight. All right. Disney 2023. I'm booking a lot of Disney for 2023. And I'm going to tell you, there's lots of construction going on. If it were me, I would wait until later in the year because so many things will be completed. The Tron, you know, the lighted motorcycle, it will be open spring of 2023. A lot of people have waited for that. It looks so futuristic. And the domes that they've built around it, pretty awesome. They have light shows on them already. But the actual Tron motorcycle that's going to go all over. And they're going to have the Disney train come right through the... It's going to go through the area that all of Tron is set up to be. So can you imagine going, I don't know how fast, but really fast on a roller coaster and see a train coming your way, and then the roller coaster does like this and goes the other way. Okay. We don't care much about water parks at Disney. The water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, closed in 2020. Well, they've been open and then closed, and then open and then closed. Well, Blizzard Beach is not going to open. It really doesn't look like it. Typhoon Lagoon has recently opened again, and oh my goodness, the Genie Plus. If you go to Disney, the Genie Plus is almost a have to right now, because half the people going in the park are buying the Genie Plus. The Genie Plus gives you extra hours in the park. It lets you go through the speed line. And even the people who are on standby, if you're in that lightning lane, you get to go. And with the Genie Pass, you get that. It's $15 per person a day. Man, if I could ride twice the number of rides, I think it'd be worth $15. And your favorite travel agent can take care of that for you. Disney has gotten so complicated that I agree with some of the people that I've talked to. It's really becoming a challenge to book Disney and know all of the hotels, the renovations going on. Like Contemporary's pool is going to be closed January through March next year, and that's one of some of my clients' favorite places. So no spring break there. But what is coming up is the North Carolina Fair. And guys, I'm going to tell you, at Action Travel, we have a real airline system, and we do Amtrak tickets. We don't do many of them, but we do them. Guess what? The North Carolina Amtrak train is going to go from Burlington directly to the State Fair. How would you like not to have to park at the State Fair, get off the train, and you're right in the middle of it? The train times, you leave at Burlington at 8:46 in the morning, and you're at the fair by 9:53. You have 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. You have about 5 hours, and the train returns at 3:11 in the afternoon, getting back into Burlington at 4:10. Now, the fare is $11 per person each way. Seniors and children get a discount on that. But you can upgrade to a seat that has a folding tray, like an airplane would, plug-ins if you need to charge something, and a little extra room. That seat's $19 each way. If you need those train tickets to the State Fair, please reach out to me, Melinda Fargas, Action Travel. The phone number is 336-222-8747. And I do apologize publicly. I am without a phone. I am using my mom's phone temporarily until Shurian sends me a new one. And her phone number is 336-260-5410. That's how you can reach me. 336-260-5410. Ladies, come see us tomorrow morning, 8:30. It's a blast. You network with people who care. It's an easy, fun group. I would love to see you there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I appreciate your business. I'm Melinda Fargas with Action Travel. Let's see. I had a brochure right here. I am Action Travel, your one-stop travel spot. Thank you.